Welcome back, everybody. You're watching CNN's special coverage of the presidential primaries in West Virginia and Nebraska. Republican Donald Trump with commanding wins in both states. In West Virginia, he comes away with 76% of the vote. Ted Cruz with 9%. John Kasich, 6%.
In Nebraska, Trump is the winner with 61% of the vote. Cruz with 18%. Kasich with 11%. Trump now has 1,119 delegates. He needs 1,237 to clinch the nomination.
A decisive win for Democrat Bernie Sanders in West Virginia, beating Hillary Clinton 51% to 36%. But that win does very little to help Sanders since both candidates add to their delegate totals. Clinton is now less than 150 shy of clinching her party's nomination.
Well, joining us here in LA is James Lacy, the author of Taxophonia and a Trump supporter.
And in San Diego, Mike Slater, a conservative radio talk show host. The last time we spoke, Mike, you were a Trump guy. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm not a Trump guy, you're a Cruz guy, my bad. Okay, Donald Trump now seems to be trying to make nice with Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, the highest-ranking elected official. They got this big meeting on Wednesday. This was Donald Trump earlier on Fox News.
He's a very good man. He wants what's good for the party, and I think we're going to have very positive results, frankly, for him to stay and be chairman.
James, very quickly, did Donald Trump blink?
No, absolutely he didn't blink. And as a matter of fact, the #2 man in the Congress to Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, has not only endorsed Donald Trump, he's a member of his delegation from California. So I think that Trump is making the right move. You'll see a consolidation falling in place.
Oh, Mike, let's take a listen to Paul Ryan, House Speaker. He spoke to WBEL Radio, and this is what he had to say ahead of the meeting.
So I think what we want to do is sit down together and talk about how we can unify the Republican Party so that we can be at full strength in the fall, because if we just pretend we're unified without actually unifying, then we'll be at half strength in the fall, and that won't go well for us.
All right. Paul Ryan speaking to the Wall Street Journal there. What do you make of Paul Ryan's approach to this meeting? I mean, given the huge divide between these two men, this is a long walk to unity.
Yeah, I think one thing we have to keep in mind whenever we're dealing with Donald Trump is he is a master negotiator. His entire skill set, his entire life is to be a strong man at the negotiation table, and he always gets his way. So this whole back and forth with Paul Ryan has been about who gets the upper hand. You'll notice Paul Ryan first came out and said, I'm not sure if I'm ready to accept the Donald Trump platform or whatever. And Trump comes right back and says, I'm not sure I'm ready to accept the Paul Ryan platform. Right? So he always has to have the upper hand, and I'm pretty sure Trump will end up getting it by the end of this meeting.
Okay, Donald Trump made one trip to West Virginia. He made it last week. It was interesting. He told the voters there, don't bother voting in this primary. Listen to this.
I want you to do is save your vote. You know, you don't have to vote anymore. Save your vote for the general election, okay? Forget this one. The primary's gone. Save your vote for the general election in November.
You know, James, a lot of people were looking at this primary in West Virginia to see if there'd be a protest vote or if the party would rally around Donald Trump as a sign of what's to come in the general election. It looks the latter has happened. Is it now time for everybody to get on board?
Yes, and we have a phenomenon happening. You know, in the Democrat Party, it happened in 86, it happened in 80, and it happened in 84. When the Democrat presidential candidates were confirmed, when they were running and they were the presumed candidates, there were protest votes. Their margins got smaller and smaller, and they went on to become their party's nominee. With Trump, it's exactly the opposite. 76%. When you see these percentages getting bigger and bigger, it's not about Paul Ryan, it's not about Donald Trump, it's about these angry voters that want to see change.
That being said, who's the onus on here to bring about unity? Is it on Paul Ryan or is it on Donald Trump?
I think it's on Republicans in general who want to defeat Hillary Clinton. And, you know, we have to ask ourselves the question, can she be defeated? The mainstream media might not want us to believe it. But look, Hillary Clinton has lost 20 primaries. How do you get to be the nominee of the Democratic Party when you've lost 20 primaries? And Donald Trump is very strong in these key swing states of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And I think that he's got a very good chance going forward because voters want a change.
Mike Slater, Marco Rubio has given his first interview since he dropped out of the race. He spoke to CNN. He can't yet give his full support to Donald Trump. Can't even mention his name. Listen to this.
Oh, it's Are you going to vote for other campaign? Well, as I said, I'm going to support the Republican.
No, you're going to abide by your pledge. But are you, when you go into the privacy of the voting booth, are you going to pull the trigger?
I intend to support the Republican nominee, and I think that includes the entire process.
Including.
Well, I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton. Okay. I'm not throwing away my vote.
Also today, we had Ted Cruz holding out hope for a miracle. Listen to this.
We have suspended the campaign. We've suspended the campaign because I can see no viable path to victory. Of course, if that changed, we would reconsider things. But let's be clear, we're not going to win Nebraska today. There should be no mystery, no excitement in that. We've withdrawn from the campaign, and it's in the hands of the voters. If circumstances change, we will always assess change circumstances.
Mike, is everyone still holding out hope, at least from the establishment, from these presidential candidates, that maybe somehow there will be this magical third person that comes in?
I don't think that's happening. I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately, for a lot of people who don't like Trump. I love Rubio's, like, tortured approval of Trump, right? I think what's going to happen, though, is eventually we'll turn the corner, and then the real enemy, quote unquote, will see Hillary Clinton, and I think there'll be unity in the party against her. I think everyone's just got to relax. About a month or so, there will be more unity. About Ted Cruz maybe doing well in Nebraska, I thought he would do a lot better in Nebraska, to be honest. He won all the states to the north and south along the 35 corridor. I thought there may be a little glimmer of hope for him if he did well in Nebraska, but he didn't, and I think he knows he's done too. Now, if you want to talk about unifying the party, how about a Ted Cruz Supreme Court nod from Donald Trump? That's one way to get Cruz.
That's out of left field.
No, man. Oh, Trump. Oh, Cruz supporters would jump on the Trump train if he promised a Supreme Court nod. I guarantee it.
So James, Cruz floating the possibility. He's down, but he's not out holding hope.
Yeah.
What went through your mind when you heard that quickly?
Well, you know, I'm almost speechless about it, you know, because
my God, that's never happened.
I had to ask you.
You know, at some point it gets to the point where it could be like bribery, you know, to try. Cruz needs to come in and not come in with some sort of a carrot dangled in front of him. He's got to do the right thing. Remember, Cruz signed a pledge that he was going to support the Republican nominee, and now he's being, up until this point, lying Ted. He's got to stand by that pledge, and he's got to get rid of that moniker, and we've got to beat Hillary Clinton with his help.
He's got to be honorable, Ted.
That's right.
Okay. Speechless. We've never seen a
James Lacy. Hey, Mike Slater, we're going to talk to you again next hour, so don't go away. But thanks for being with us. Okay.
Thanks, gentlemen.